I'm Bobby Kingery with the Career Services Office at Eastern Illinois University, and today we're going to talk about resumes. This is going to be a basic session that's going to go over the typical headings on a resume, the information you want to include, but understand there's not just one way to do a resume. The resume needs to be tailored to your information, your strengths. We want to lead with your strongest information and work down. So what we're going to talk about today are the basics. What do we put on there? What information do we include? And then you may want to schedule an appointment with my office so that we can look at what you've come up with and then work with you to tailor it specifically to you. But let's get started with the basics, because that's a really good place to start. So, resume writing, what do we need to do? As I said, formatting is important, and we'll discuss one format during this session, but there are other formats that may fit your information better. Some of the basics, one-page resume is typically appropriate for an undergraduate student, somebody earning their bachelor's degree, unless you are getting teacher certification, and at that point, your resume is typically 2 pages. There are lots of resume templates out there on Microsoft Word, on a bunch of other sites. Don't use one. Resume templates lock you into their format, and you typically cannot change it if it doesn't work for your information. So you are better off putting something together in Word and then working to move it around and, I guess, tailor it from that tool. We typically want to make it 12-point font. You can go as low as 10, but anything lower than 10 can get very difficult to read. So I don't suggest going lower than that. And we like to start with 1-inch margins on all sides. We may play with that a little if we need to, but that's a good guideline for the beginning. I typically still put your name at the top. I think it's important that we identify who the resume belongs to. So I am going to put it at the top of the resume. I'm going to make it the largest thing on the page, and I'm going to bold it. Bolding lets them know this is something important to pay attention to, so don't overuse that tool. Bullets, any underlining, they all do the same thing. So use them carefully, because if you do it too much, they don't know what you're trying to highlight. But your heading in the middle, your name, typically then how to get in touch with you. If you are going to post your resume publicly where anyone can see it, don't put your address or your phone number. Only list an email. You don't want anyone who you don't know having that information about you. There's a debate in the career services industry about whether you list your address. I typically put it on there, but there are reasons not to. And that's something we can discuss one-on-one when you come into the office, or you can email us and ask those questions. So let them know how to get in touch with you. Have an email address that you check daily, because once you've put a resume out there, they may reach out to you and you need to see that quickly. And then have a phone number where they can reach you, but be certain you have message space available if it's your cell phone, because if they call and they can't leave a message, you're not certain they're going to keep trying. They may just go on to the next candidate. After that, I often lead with education. Education will be anything past high school, unless you are a freshman and you still have to rely on high school experience. We always want to go reverse chronological order, most recent first. So you can see by the example, I want you to list the university name, the location, and then what is the name of the actual degree you are going to receive. Not your major, those are 2 different things. So in this case, we have an accounting major, which means they are going to receive a Bachelor of Science in Business degree. So double check that you know what degree you are actually earning, and then the graduation date. And then we suggest you include your GPA if it is above 3.0. Sometimes your major GPA is above 3.0 and your cumulative isn't, and you can go ahead and use that major GPA if you specify that it is your major GPA. If you attended a community college, we can list that as well, especially if you received a degree from there. You'll follow the same format as you did for Eastern, but it will come after Eastern on your resume. Again, that reverse chronological order. So that's how we're going to handle education. If you have a minor, you can list it under your major line. If you have double minors, list it. And there are some other things we can put in there if we choose to. These are the basics that will get you started. Then we move on to experience. Experience can come from so many different areas. It can come from paid work experience. It can come from volunteer experience. It can come from projects in class or organizations that you're a member of. So just think about that, because experience is not limited to paid work experience. We still use reverse chronological order. One of the things that's very important about a resume is that we follow the same format and we are consistent. When you put descriptions, I don't want paragraph format. It's too hard to read. So we typically use bullet statements starting with action verbs. On the Career Services website, there's an excellent page of action verbs to give you an idea of what we mean by that. And then what I want you to try to do is integrate your skills while talking about your accomplishments. What were the outcomes? And we have an example that'll give you some ideas about what I mean by that. Here's an experience section. You can see again, reverse chronological order. So the office assistant position at Cards Appliance is still going on. So that's why it's June to present. What does that mean? It means the description is present tense. So they are still actively doing this. So they manage and maintain inventory. They are responsible for all billing activities. These things are all still going on. Now, when we get to Hibbett Sports and new student programs at EIU, those positions are done. So the descriptions will now be past tense. They provided support, learned from and assisted. Because we're trying to keep this to one page, try not to repeat the same skill set under every position. Even if you did the same thing, put it in one and focus on something else for the others. That will help you save space. You'll also notice that under Senior Prowl Leader, they talk that they transitioned over 3,000 new students from home to college. 3,000, that number, and written in that numeric form will really jump out on the resume because it's different than everything else. So we want to think about how we present the information and what it's going to say to people. You notice that they bolded their job titles and not the companies they worked for. Job title is more descriptive of what they've done. So I believe that is why that choice was made. So think about experience in that way and put it together so that you can show people what you've done and what you gained from it. We're also going to include a skills section on almost every resume. You will want to target the skills to the industry you're trying to break into, which means you will be well served to look up job descriptions for positions that interest you, read and see what skills they are looking for. And if you have those skills, that's what you're going to focus on in your resume. So find those skills based on what the employers want, because then they'll be able to look at the resume and see that you can do what they need you to do. So that's really important. You can see some of the skills are a little more, not vague, but they're just a little more, they're wider or more broad. Strong analytical skills, but I guarantee you in most accounting positions, they're going to want analytical skills. But then they also at the bottom talk about software that they've worked with. In the middle, primary knowledge of financial management, financial institutions, financial derivatives, foreign exchange risk, investments, and insurance. They learned that in class. And that's fine because that's why you take classes. So those skills don't have to just be skills you've put to work in the workplace. It can come from what you're learning in your educational process. So pull those together and list the important ones on the resume. We're also probably going to talk about your activities and awards. What organizations are you a part of? But anytime you list one, you need to be able to say what you did with it. Not just went to a couple meetings, but how did you actively engage with that organization and make it better or help it? So think about that as you list your organizations and your activities and awards. And volunteer work can show up here too, depending on what we want to focus on. You can see they've got different things. They graduated magna cum laude, which is really good. They scored in the 93rd percentile on the MFT MBA exam. They earned the Rights with Distinction Award. They're an Illinois CPA Society member. A good mixture of things, but it shows interest in the field and then excellence within the field. So those are things that we want to think about when we're looking at the activities and awards section. What if you don't have a lot of experience? Maybe you're a freshman. Maybe you haven't been super involved yet. That's fine. It tells us we probably want to work toward that. And that's something that you can talk to us in career services about. But we may then add a section for relevant coursework. If I use a relevant coursework section, I put it up after the education section. So it's going to be closer to the top. And make certain that the classes you choose to include are easily understood by the title of the class. If you tell me that you took Composition 2, I don't know what you learned in Composition 2. If you told me you took Productive Work Teams, I know exactly what you focused on in Productive Work Teams. So be certain if we're using those that they are relevant and that the reader will understand the skills and knowledge that you gained in those classes. This has been quick, and I don't want to waste your time by spending hours going over this. We have an excellent website, and the address is right here, where you can see further explanation of the sections and why you want to use them and what can go in there. There are other examples to give you ideas of some different layouts and some different ways to present your information. So I encourage you to take a look at the website and go from there. I also encourage you to think about being career ready. This is something that you're going to hear on campus quite a bit. The National Association of Colleges and Employers did a survey a couple years ago and asked most of the employers what were the top 8 skills they were looking for in new graduates and the people they're going to employ. And this list is what they are. So we want to address as many of these as we can on your resume. We've got great information again on our website about being career ready. It's one of the best reasons to engage with career services early and often so that we can assess where you fall in career readiness and help you plan ideas to get you up to speed if there's an area in which you're not as strong but you would like to be. So your resume is going to indicate this. We're going to try to make certain that we address these areas. And if you need more help with it, we'll work with you one-on-one to get you there so that you are comfortable and can address the things the employers are seeking. Finally, subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. So as we upload more information, you know it's out there and you can watch these shorter videos and gain the information you need quickly. Or schedule that individual appointment. And I encourage you to do both. We've changed our software platform. We are on Handshake now. So you can log into your Handshake account and actually schedule appointments with my staff and myself through that account automatically. Handshake is also what employers are going to look at when they're trying to hire interns and full-time employees. So you want to be certain that you're actively using Handshake. And we're also encouraging all of our on-campus employers to list their open part-time jobs on Handshake and the community members. So this is going to be your place to find part-time, internships, and full-time employment. So you want to engage with Handshake. You need to complete the profile. And once we've got this resume done, you want to upload it so people can see what you have to offer. It's going to be really interactive and really useful for you. So that's resumes fairly quickly. You may have additional questions, and now you know how to schedule an appointment with us and get those answers. Again, this is what we've put together today as a basic resume, and we're going to want to tailor it to you. We're going to want to probably get more specific, and there will come a point at which when you start sending your resume out, you're probably going to want to tailor it to each position and each employer. But we can talk about that one-on-one and get you up to speed with that. We just want to be certain you know how to get the basics down, so when you come in and meet with us, we've got something to work with, and we can use that time much more wisely. Thanks for watching. I hope that you continue looking at YouTube, and I hope it really encourages you to make an appointment with our office so that we can help you in the future in person, but right now virtually. Keep moving yourself closer to your goal. So again, Bobby Kingery in EIU Career Services. We really look forward to working with you, and I hope that you come in and see us really soon. Have a great day.